Christmas. Hello guys, this is AJ and welcome back to my channel. Just thought I'd move my out around. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 episodes that you can watch of Doctor Who during the festive break. I realised that there are like 12 episodes that you can talk about, you know, that are Doctor Who, like Christmas themed, well, that are designated Christmas specials. But let's be honest, we do not have 12 hours to spare because we're too busy binging Star Wars at the minute to do anything else. So I've picked 5 of my favourite Christmas specials that I am going to recommend to you to either watch again or watch the first time. And as you can see, I'm kind of into this because I've got a t-shirt on, I've got a hat on. What else do you really want? In no particular order, the first one is A Christmas Carol. Now I feel like this episode is what Christmas should be in an episode of Doctor Who, taking something Christmas related, such as the story of A Christmas Carol, changing it to an extent that it also almost becomes unrecognisable, and not as in an adapting way, like not to adapt like the story figuratively, like properly, but to take a character and stick them into the Doctor Who world. And you know, Christmas Carol doesn't even do that. It takes the spirit of the story and uses that. The Doctor becomes the ghosts of past, present and future, and we see, you know, time. It's sweet, it's a bit quirky, there's a lot of conversational stuff because it's a Stephen Moffat script, so he does like to leave things open. So I suppose that some people could argue it's rather boring, but you know, you're full of turkey, are you really going to turn the channel over? Next episode is Voyage of the Damned. I simply love this idea, the idea that the Doctor's on the Titanic for Christmas and the Titanic is going to crash into Earth. And there's sabotage and there's cool villains, and Astrid Peth, played by Kylie Minogue, is in this episode, is leading to a really, really great story and a great ending with plenty of happy moments, plenty of sadness. Basically, it's just the perfect combination of everything you can get at Christmas when you get tons of sad stories on the telly. You get happy stories, you get happy moments, and you get snow. And you've got that quirky sci-fi element of Doctor Who that you need in a Christmas special. It may be because I'm a child, when I was a child when this came out and this episode meant a lot more to me then, because I did like a ranking and I realised that the ones that I put at the top were the David Tennant ones, because they were the ones that are around when I was younger and I remember them the most, and then over the years I felt like that they've got worse. Like I could have ranked them in the order of release because I felt like Twice Upon a Time was probably one of the worst ones I've ever seen. I felt like the entire episode was just leading into a regeneration and we just had to sit there for an hour and wait for the regeneration. The next episode that you can watch is The Next Doctor. So this is a David Tennant episode and you can tell that they spent a lot of money on this episode. That doesn't necessarily mean it's good. The Husbands of River Song probably had a lot of money spent on it, but it doesn't make it a really good episode. I think what makes it really good, that makes them all good, is that you have this mystery. You have classic Cybermen of the villains, and I love the Cybermen, so why wouldn't I choose them? They are just brilliant in this episode. I love the scale of their invasion. What they're doing is really quite on a big scale, and you know, you're not sitting there with like face huggers from Alien, or you've got a genuine villain that's actually a threat around Christmas time. I don't see what is wrong with all of that. You know, you really can't fault some of these older stories. Well, you can, but you have to delve a little bit deeper than you normally. Sometimes I struggle to say words in a sentence when the word runaway is there when I'm speaking quickly, so if I slip up in terms of language, then that's why. The Runaway Bride is a perfect example of Doctor Who at its finest. I think that you're in a very peak area at this point. You've got some really good classic Christmassy scenes. You've got the robot Santas that I love. I think they're an awesome idea that you can only have around at Christmas. You have the Rachnos, which we seem to be getting a return of in Series 12, so you might as well watch it. You've got Catherine Tate, who plays a brilliant job as Donna Noble, and their situation is so interesting, and the entire story again is interesting, that you don't feel like you're sitting there for an entire hour. I think that something that I have in common with all of the episodes that I've chosen is that they have a good amount of lightheartedness, they have a good amount of stakes, they have a good villain, and they're just fun to watch because of it. I think that the reason that I didn't choose The End of Time was because the story was not as focused as the other ones have been, because you sat there going, there's a regeneration coming and the Doctor's talking about that a lot. I think I really like the Christmas specials that are just one-off focused episodes. I think that's why I quite like Resolution. So my final choice is The Christmas Invasion. Now this is the first David Tennant episode. We see the Suckerax, and they have a fight against the Doctor. They literally invade London. It is, wait, is it even, they live in London, don't they? So they invade London. It's a really high-scale episode of Doctor Who, which involves some really cool scenes that I loved as a child and I will forever quote for the rest of my life. Again, I think it is part of the nostalgia thing, but Christmas is about nostalgia. I think that if you didn't have that, then why would we re-watch episodes of Doctor Who from Christmas? Why do we re-watch Christmas episodes and Christmas movies over and over again when we know what's going to happen in them? And I think that it's because you can only watch them for like a week or like a month every year. I think that's why people like to just kind of get on and watch everything that they can. You know, I hope that the choices that I made were something that you can use. I'm sorry for my explanations being a little bit vague in terms of I really like the episode, it's really fun, but I think that, like I said, the nostalgia helps with the episode. So I suppose that if you had a nostalgia for an episode such as the Snowman, then you might be interested in that one more than you would be the Runaway Bride. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye. Trying to take this hat off.